That's right, doesn't it? Welcome back. 8:45. It's been over 3 decades since Steinlager 2's triumphant Whitbread round-the-world victory. Former trimmer and helmsman Mark Orams is likely the last of the crew to have all 6 winning shirts given to the team for each leg. Now he's decided to part ways with the collection, donating the funds raised to the New Zealand Sailing Trust. He joins us now in studio, along with the shirts, one of which he's been kind enough to let me wear. What are the significance of these shirts, Mark, and how much do they mean to you?
Well, I suppose they're just a bit of a keepsake. It's a bit of New Zealand sporting history, and that Steinlager 2 was the only yacht to win all 6 legs of the round-the-world yacht race, which has been held every 4 years since 1973. So many have tried, but none have been as successful as the Sir Peter Blake-led Steinlager 2 campaign.
It's an incredible achievement. It was called the Volvo Ocean Race, now just the Ocean Race, right? To win 6 legs of a race that tough, how difficult was that?
Well, you have to manage so many things in a round-the-world yacht race. It's 9 months in duration, 33,500 nautical miles, and so the sorts of things that get thrown at you mean that it's not just breakages, it's seamanship, it's managing all of those variables. So extremely difficult, and that's why it's only been done once, to be able to dominate that for the entire round-the-world race. And Steinlager 2 was one of those very special Kiwi-designed, Kiwi-crewed, all of the equipment, sails, rig and so on were all New Zealand based, and so it was the first ever time New Zealand had won the Around the World Yacht Race, and of course has gone into history as one of the most successful campaigns that Sir Peter Blake led.
Yeah, I mean the boat itself is probably one of our most famous vessels, right? It's usually down at the Auckland Viaduct. What is it doing now?
Yeah, so the New Zealand Sailing Trust is a charity that's been set up, and it owns both Steinlager 2 and its predecessor Lion New Zealand, and it takes young people out on the water to learn self-confidence skills, team building, about New Zealand's maritime and sailing heritage, and Sir Peter Blake himself. So we're really proud as a charity to have these boats still in really pristine condition, and young New Zealanders are able to go out and experience something very, very special.
Yeah, it does such good work with them. Do you find that the interest is still there from young people to want to get out and do this sort of thing?
Absolutely, yeah. Particularly for school groups, we find that this is something as part of their outdoor education and adventure. And many of our young people now are spending a lot of time on devices, as we know, and inside a lot more, particularly in urban environments. So to get them out on the water, and we deliberately make them leave their devices at home and not on the boat and not accessible. So they actually really get to touch base with something real, and that's with nature, with our wonderful maritime nation, as well as our history, and also with one another. So they're interacting with one another in a very different way than they might normally do in their day-to-day lives.
So the Polo is going to be up for auction on Trade Me, is that right? Tell me a little bit about, say, this one. What leg was this, and what were the challenges you faced on this leg?
Yeah, so that particular one you're wearing is from leg 4, Auckland to Punta del Este, which is in Uruguay, South America. So that was really significant for us, because leaving from our home port, which was the halfway point, and we'd won 3 out of 3 at that stage, and so we were very aware that we had to manage things and manage risks quite carefully, going back to the Southern Ocean, around the famous Cape Horn, and into Punta del Este, and the second longest leg in the entire race. So something that's etched in the memory, particularly I think for any mariner sailing around Cape Horn, is something very special.
Oh, you lot are nuts for doing this sort of thing. People, I didn't actually realise I'm wearing red socks today. You've got yours on as well, so there we go.
That's that time of the sailing calendar, isn't it? America's Cup.
Look, totally by coincidence. I wanted to ask you about America's Cup, because we're going to get to the actual main event very soon. How are you feeling about that?
Yeah, I'm feeling, I'm pleased that the events now develop some real close racing. There's always a danger in these really, really fast boats that even a small percentage gain by one over the other means that they do a horizon job and win by hundreds and hundreds of metres, but that's not been the case. Ineos, Britannia and Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli have been neck and neck, and it's been really, really tight. And last night, overnight here, was a deal breaker, I think, in terms of the lock-up that they had, with Ineos winning 2 races.
So you're not counting out Jimmy Spittle, are you?
I'm not counting him out, but it's tough. It's tough when these boats are so evenly matched to think that Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli now has to win 3 in a row, and they've not been able to do that to date. So it's not impossible, but probably improbable at this point.
When you look at the boats that they're racing now, which are more like rocket ships, and you look back at a boat like Steinlager 2, can you quite believe the technological advances that we've made?
Well, yeah, in many ways it's fascinating because we're now flying above the surface of the water, and we're going at speeds that you need crash helmets and impact vests, and sailing at speeds that you drive down the motorway at, which is incredible compared to where we came from. But I think where we were, if we'd gone back 30 years earlier, we would have seen boats that were very, very different as well. Wooden boats with very different kinds of technology. So it advances along, and that's one of the exciting parts of the sport.
Mark Orams, so good to have you on. Just a quick reminder as well for people, if they do want to go and bid on this, Trade Me, what do they search?
Yeah, just search under New Zealand Sailing Trust or Steinlager 2 Whitbread shirts, and they'll find them. And yeah, they're sold as a collection because it is a unique collection of all 6, not individually. So I'd like them to go, and the funds will be going to support the New Zealand Sailing Trust and what it does for New Zealand young people.
Fantastic. Good luck with that. Thank you so much for coming on this morning.
My pleasure.